Next, I recognize a new member of the Appropriations Committee, Senator Britt. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman, Ranking Member. Congratulations to both of you. It is an honor to serve on your committee. Mr. Secretary, thank you for your time and being here. Many of the questions that I've had on various issues have already been answered, so I'm going to actually kind of take something that I saw Senator Capito talk about and dig a little bit deeper into it. The department's FY 2024 budget request includes $5.5 billion in baseline funding for the UAC program for unaccompanied migrant children, along with a request of $2.8 billion contingency fund to help address unaccompanied minors and other refugee issues throughout FY 2024. But as has been mentioned here today, the UAC program is plagued by deficiencies, poor management, which combined with this administration's reckless and irresponsible policies encourage illegal immigration and I believe have put the lives of children and their well-being at risk. We are spending a lot of money on a program that just isn't working very well. I believe it is not a lack of funding, it is departmental policy and management failures that are our problem. In light of the piece in the New York Times last month, as well as many other well-documented reports regarding issues with the UAC program, I want to ask you about some specifics here that I believe HHS could and should address. On March 31st, 2021, HHS's Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR, issued field guidance that waived background check requirements for adult household members and alternative adult caregivers identified in a sponsor care plan submitted by Category 2 sponsors. As you know, Category 2 sponsors include certain relatives of a child other than a parent. So the department put in place a policy that allowed a waiver of background checks for other adults in the households of those relatives. That strikes me as deeply irresponsible. In light of recent events, can you tell me if the March 31st, 2021 field guidance is still in effect?
Senator, first, congratulations to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Look forward to working with you in the future. On this particular question, I won't try to refute some of the things that you've said that I think are inaccurate about the program, because the men and women at HHS work very, very hard to protect these kids, thousands of kids that have passed through our hands as we care for them, and we do everything we can to not only care for them while they're in our custody, but find them a very secure placement.
Yeah, yes, sir, and I don't believe that it is actually the people at HHS. I said it is the management and the policies, and so the policy of not checking the background of these individuals in a home that we are putting a child in, my question is that still the case?
Right, and I think you've not stated it properly, because we do background checks.
Good.
So the sponsor of any child has to go through background checks.
Okay, and not the sponsor, but anyone in their household.
And so if the sponsor is one of the immediate relatives, or for example, if it's the parent,
right,
then we, in order to get the child to the parent, because again, what we are always told, whether it's through the courts or whether it's through the best advice of professionals who know about the best interests of a child, they say it's better to have a child with someone who loves them than have them in a federally sponsored congregate care setting. And so we place them with the child's parent if we can. And if it is a child's parent, for example,
right,
we will not do the full background checks of those who are in the household, assuming that the parent is going to be responsible for the child and make sure that anyone in the household will also take care of the parent.
So if it's not a parent, though, just so you and I are on the same page so that we're speaking the same language here, if it is not a parent that you are placing them with, do you do a background check of the other individuals in that home?
It will depend on who that individual that we're looking at as the sponsor would be, because the further removed you get from the parent, the more we have to have a sense of security that the person who is going to be responsible as the sponsor can indeed take care of that child. And so it would really be based on that.
Okay, I just want to let the record reflect. Obviously, if it's a parent knows what's best for a child, and that's what we have to know. But if it is not a parent, we need to be checking into everyone in that household. What we've seen happen to these children is completely and totally unacceptable. There are so many who have been forced into sex trafficking, have been forced into labor trafficking, of which we know we've got to make sure that we're taking a look and that we're trying to keep keep them safe. And so the field guidance then, I guess, is not in effect then, the March 31st, 2021 field guidance.
I'll get back to you on the field guidance, but I'm not aware of any sex trafficking of the kids that we have sent out. We've been able to place with the sponsor. If you can provide us with the evidence that there's been
Absolutely.
sex trafficking, we'd love to see that.
Absolutely. And so the decisions to terminate any of those things, I'd love to follow up with, and I'll submit some questions for the record for that as well. And so when you're looking at the different things that are occurring also too, I only got 14 seconds left, guys. I got to learn how to do this quicker.
Negative 14.
No, negative 14. Okay. Guys, thank you for your time. I have a number of other questions within that
We
line
can follow up.
that I would love to get to the bottom of. These children, it's a passion for me as a mama of 2 school-age children that we are making sure that we're not putting them in harm's way.
I thank you for your passion.
Thank you.